with the community. This is the Microsoft Power Platform community call for August 2023. I'm so excited. We are getting into the latter end of summer. That means we got some exciting fall news coming up soon, so we're excited for that. I'm so glad you're all here. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about some updates and news on the Power Platform today. We're going to talk about some upcoming events, and then, of course, we're going to have picture time, everybody's favorite time to show off your fantastic, beautiful faces. And then we're going to have 3 amazing demos today by Ralph. He's going to cover AI Mixtape, tips and tricks with PBA all the way. And then Eichel's going to get into using Power Automate and AI to write code for custom connectors. And Kylie's going to wrap it up with ChatGPT and AI Builder and Power Apps. So did I notice a theme in AI? Maybe I did. We're all excited. So let's talk about some other stuff. Now, you may be watching all of these presentations today and thinking, that is awesome. I've got some cool stuff to share. Absolutely you do. And we want to see it. So please know that this is your call. That means we welcome all of you to request presenting a demo. We're excited to show it. We want to show it. We want you to be part of it. This is your call. And even if you've never presented before, we'll hook you up with a buddy. So go fill out this form, ak.ms/community/request/demo, and we will reach out to you. Let us know what you're looking for, maybe a topic, a tip or trick. If you're looking for a buddy, we'll hook you up. And remember, friends, don't overthink this. It doesn't need to be anything like a flux capacitor is what makes time travel possible. Don't worry. It could be just a tip, trick, a feature you love, something new that you found that's beneficial, that's helped you. It'll help others. Let's share it with everyone. So go fill out that form, and we'll get back to you. All right, let's dive directly into some Power Platform News Desk updates, and we're going to start out with Jocelyn.
Hello, everyone. As always, there is a ton of news in the world of Power Platform connectors. We are now at over 1,100 connectors. It feels like just yesterday we were celebrating our 1,000 milestone, and we have just as many connectors made by community members and independent publishers like yourself as we do by Microsoft. So that's such a huge feat. You guys have contributed just as much as our own company has. If you are super into connectors just like I am, I would love to see you in our connector specific call on the second Wednesday of every month. Please scan that QR code. And additionally, with Microsoft Power Platform Conference coming up, I just wanted to show some of you guys some sessions that you should look out for. The first one is with myself, and it has to do with the connectors and data virtualization story. Go to that one first and then hit up the next one, which will be about connectors turning into plugins. I hope to see you all there. And as always, information will be in the chat. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Joss. All right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about some hackathons. Who wants to talk about hackathons? I know Nikita, we're welcoming to the call from the Power Pages PowerCat team. Nikita, tell us about an upcoming hackathon.
So we got a great hackathon here for Power Pages. So for Power Pages specifically, we're going to be calling in all of our makers of all types. If you are a citizen developer, if you're a pro dev, if you design things, or if your new job title is a prompt engineer, all the co-pilot things, we're in active planning things. So we're definitely going to have something coming up here in a few months. We're gathering interest. So you're going to help us by signing up on this link, please. And we're thinking of a bunch of great categories from, hey, this is my first new Power Pages. Maybe I built it with a co-pilot. If you saying, hey, you know what, I don't have time to build something that new, that's okay. Customer Showcase will be a category. Pro devs will have something cool for you as well to show off your tech skills, from web template versus custom component battle. And obviously, more information to come. So we'd really love to engage with you. Signal your interest. We need that to get cracking, but we're thinking of some things and communication coming soon. So be the first to be in the know by signing up at the link below. Thank you very much. And I'm Nikita Polikoff from the Power Pages Customer Advisory Team. So we'll love the community.
Awesome. Thanks, Nikita. Very, very exciting. Now, not just one. If you call now, we've got another hackathon for you. April Dunham, tell us a little bit about it.
I am super excited to announce the Power Platform AI Hack Together event, September 14th through the 28th of this year. It is fully online, open to anyone of any background, any experience. So why would you want to participate in this? To try out some of the new AI-powered features, try your prompt engineering skills, see what you can build with the Power Platform and some of the co-pilots in all the AI features. You'll hack together with friends or by yourself, so we can have groups up to 3 for your teams, or you can do this solo, and you get the opportunity to win prizes. So we're going to have gift cards, Power Platform swag, and of course, badges. This is our Power Platform AI Hack Together badge that you'll have the opportunity to get. This is all going to be, you'll submit your solutions on GitHub. We're going to have live streams for like several days of the week of the hackathon. We'll have a live sharing is caring stream showing you how to submit to GitHub, and also walking over with some special guests, some Microsoft special guests, some of the AI features and all that. So registration is opening up soon. We don't have it open quite yet, but we do have a webpage up so you can get more information. So go to aka.ms/hacktogether/power platform-AI. That is a mouthful, but you'll get all the info there, and we will update you all once registration is opening. Would love your involvement. And we have tons of really cool prizes, 4 different categories. We'll have a grand prize. We'll have best better together solution, best use of AI, and best diversity, equity, and inclusion focused solution. So those are the categories that you can compete in. Look forward to you all participating. Now, we also have to cover samples, right, David?
Yeah, we do. And it was good to mention that if they call now, Aprilators are standing by.
That's right.
See
That's
what I
right.
did? Aprilators instead of operators. Aprilators. All right, sorry. Back to samples.
Back to samples. We have one sample to highlight this week from Stuart Baxter. It's a Power Platform Teams management application. This is the Canvas app that helps you manage Dataverse teams. So there's a Cloudflow behind it that does all kinds of cool stuff for you, but really it just gives you a much easier way to create netted Dataverse teams and security groups behind them. So definitely check it out if you're wanting an easier way to kind of manage some of those Dataverse security teams and all of that. Give it a look out there. And if you have samples, go to aka.ms/power platform-samples.
Awesome. Thank you, April. And, all of these hackathons and samples use a little thing called GitHub. Now, you may think, I don't know, GitHub uses some weird terms, weird phrases. It's a little scary, but we got your back. Hugo Bernier, tell us a little bit about sharing is caring. Dr. Bernier, paging Dr. Bernier. I see him in the chat. I see him in the call. Okay, well, I'm going to do my best to be Hugo today. So Sharing is Caring, friends, is our program that provides hands-on guidance. What does that mean? It means that we are going to join Teams calls together live. They're going to be a safe space, which means that you can ask any and all questions because we won't record. And we know that sometimes when that record button goes on, you get a little afraid thinking, should I ask this question? Should I already know the answer? Don't worry. We're here to help one another. So you join these sessions. We're going to walk you through. It's interactive, it's hands-on, it's a safe space, it's collaborative, it's fantastic. August 30th, we've got the next Power Platform Samples contributor set up. It's powered by Teams webinar. So you go in, you register, you get an invite right away, you get reminders. It's really, really wonderful. So definitely get on board. We're going to be recording some of those. April had mentioned we're going to have a live stream version of it that's going to get recorded for future use at the hackathon. So definitely get involved here. We definitely want to help you. Did I mention definitely get involved. All right. Now, once you do contribute to the community, we want to recognize you. And you've probably seen this. You've seen some of these badges. April was talking about some badges for the hackathon community recognition program. It's powered by Credly. It is not going anywhere. We just upped our subscription with them. And these are official accredited badges that recognize all the amazing work that you're doing in the community because you earned it and deserve it. It's a variety of opportunities for you to collect these badges and methods upon which you can collect them. We've got our independent publisher, Sharing is Caring, community call presenter, power contributor. And you know what? I think that we're getting to the end of summer, and that brings fall. Who's kind of excited for some of fall? What comes with fall? Pumpkin, right? So let's have some fun here, folks. We're bringing you our very own PSL badge. Pumpkin spiced, lot of commits. Right? So stay tuned. This is just a fun sneak peek for all of our fantastic friends here in the community. We're going to describe this a little bit more, give you the earning opportunity and the criteria, but we are super excited to have some fun with some new badges coming this fall. So be on the lookout for that. A lot of fun stuff. All right. Let's talk about some events and shows coming up. So we've got our EduCon and Power EduCon coming up in Seattle here in just next week. And then, of course, Chicago brings our 365 EduCon at the end of October. And of course, we all know about MPPC. In October in Las Vegas, we're all super excited. We're looking to break some records there, everybody. It's going to be amazing. I hope you can come. Please don't hesitate to get involved. Check out all the URLs. They're all going to be available to you here in the chat. We also have a number of other events coming up. It's spinning up. The conference season is definitely hot on its trails of spinning up. A number of sessions here, including one of the newest Baltic Summit 2023, which I believe has a call for speakers open. So I'm throwing in the chat right now a whole bunch of links for you to all these varieties of events that you can take advantage of. So definitely get involved there. Again, you can access all of these at ak.ms/community days, and you can even add your own. So definitely, if you have an event coming up, please, by all means, go in there and add it, get it added, and we'll share it with the community. All right. Well, it is about that time. It is picture time. So I know many of you already have your cameras on. If you don't, feel free to turn it on, and I will get set up here in together mode. I'm going to put it in together mode, and of course, for some of us, there may be a little bit of a bug in Teams where it persists after the fact. And so if when we're done with together mode, it still shows up. Come on, together mode. You can show up. I see all these people showing up as I scan over them. Don't let us down, Teams. Come on, you can show. Let's try here. Try and do that. Let's do together mode again. There we go. All right. And we will start the recording here. So give me just a minute for that to, where in the world did it show up at? Recording went away. There we go. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and start waving, everybody. Show the community how awesome you are. Show them how much fun you're having at the community calls. Great to see some of the avatars and wonderful faces. Thank you all for joining. Daniel's dancing right there in the front row. Looks fantastic. You all are amazing. Awesome. All right. Well, then let's move into our all-star presenters of the day. Our first is going to be Ralph Rivas, AI Mixtape, tips and tricks with PVA all the way. Ralph, feel free to take on over the screen share, my friend.
Alrighty, let me quickly share over here. We only have a few minutes, as they say. So going on, is the screen sharing?
It is very good. Thank you. Just throw that into presentation mode for us.
And now I need to find my mouse again because it disappeared. Stand by. Here we go. Let's do the slides because we have the obligatory pay homage to the slides because Clippy came from there, and you know all our AMI masters are drawn from Clippy. So really quickly, the master sheet. I imagine, are we going to share these at some point? You can take a picture instead of getting all the links over here of the QR code to get my information. I won't go through this in any more detail. I think I'll leave it for the folks to follow up later. But let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to play with some pieces that have something to do with GPT in one way, shape, or form with PVA. And then we're going to play some more. We're going to see what some customization that we can perhaps do with PVA and some of the other friends in the Power Platform family. And then we take a rest. No. We'll play some more. We look for some more toys. There's actually some places where you can get more information. And there's some topics that are probably good to know when you're doing this stuff. So if you're looking at it either as a maker or anything else you go through. And then we stop because, well, we got to stop at some point. Let's watch the time over here, and we're doing okay. I imagine from 10 minutes from now, somebody will be going beep, 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 get ready to stop. Maybe if there's time for discussions and questions, we'll see what we got. So let me stop over here and quickly go into play mode because we're going to go play. All right, so I have a big assumption over here. The big assumption is that folks have seen PVA. The folks that are looking at this have seen it before. Maybe they've seen demos, they've seen trials or anything else. You want to know more. If you haven't tried it out yet, the best way to go do it, and here's your first tip. Go to learn.microsoft.com. You remember that AI challenge that I had earlier? Well, actually, it's good for several things. It's good to follow through and go and get introduced. If you're saying, oh, wow, PVA, isn't that a very expensive thing to do? I will show you one of the second tip. The second tip is most everybody can get a developer environment. If you can't, talk to your friendly friends at your organization. And if you can't do that, there's a lot of links, and you can look it up, how to get your own dev tenant and play with it by yourself. The first thing, of course, is to have your dev environment, and you can play all the PVA stuff. I think that's the most major tips. Do not get stuck. Do not think that, like, oh, I can't do it. There's no stopping you. I mean, the only issue is if a feature is not available in your area potentially. And then to that note, a really quick another tip for your PVA pieces over here is the fact that this is changing literally as we speak. And I'm not kidding. This came out last night. I took a screenshot of it because it's out there sitting on the Twitter right now. Where's that picture? Here it is. Let's bring it up. It's a little bit blurry, but over here is a picture where they're showing this concept of plugins, which is coming soon to PVA, where literally it's it's everything, conversation starter, pieces to go in, ready to go, GPT bits, wherein almost no work is done. In this particular case, it's a banking example, and it's all ready to go. This is not here. When you go to the overview, somewhere in there, you'll see a link that says, would you like to be in this preview? Click on it, and hopefully they'll give it to you. Just to give an idea that this stuff is happening all the time. So the first thing I do is I usually go to my overview and see if there's anything new. Sometimes it'll say, hey, here's a link. Would you like to try something out? There's something new going on. Or you might see on the top, there's going to be a conference or something. Oh, I don't know, some big conference in Vegas, I heard. You might want to click on it and follow up. So more tips going through. All right, what is out of the box maybe more on the GPT side? Well, the one of them that's obvious when you're creating a bot now, and if you've seen yourself creating a bot, one of the things it'll ask you is for a website. That's a GPT thing, and this is what it does. Let me show you what it does. I give you the example. You go over to system topics. It creates this thing called the conversation boosting topic, and that's it. You don't have to do literally anything else. You may want to turn off, and by the way, I usually do this over here with my topics. I usually turn off the lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, and make sure that I'm all plain and simple, so I'm ready to go. Another tip: go to conversation boosting. Let's go see what that looks like. And what's happening over here? Here's your GPT stuff that's out there. If you haven't seen this yet, go here and play. Check it out. What can you do over here? You can add websites, multiple ones. Like in this particular case, I'm doing a food friend helper, and I'm adding multiple sites that have recipes in them, because that's part of what I'm trying to get done. What else can be done over here? If you have a Bing custom search information that seems to be available to you, that one might not be so easy to get. The SharePoint, straightforward, point to a list, and that's in. That's also a recent addition. I love that one. Then there's OpenAI services. You have to have all the information about that, create a connection, and ready to go. Yes, you can expand it and go crazy on it. Here's another tip, a word of warning, because the conversational boost does several things. It catches this thing called an unknown intent. But maybe folks that have been here before might see that there's another place that catches the so-called unknown intent, and that's the fallback. The fallback is when something fails, it goes. Now, before they had conversational boosting, another possible tip, if you don't have that, if you didn't select that, and you came over here without it, and you're like, well, how do I create it? Well, and you want to use that idea of like on unknown intent. Unknown intent just simply means I'm doing something that I have no idea what he's asking. Let me go pass it to this place first and see what happens. In the original unknown intent, it would be like, well, I'm asked several times. You've asked the same question. I'm going to escalate you. In my case, I hijacked it and I put my food helper bot. Well, not exactly bot here. My food helper flow is what I did. So yes, actually, I can do that. Remember, a good helper for PVA before all this stuff was going on, it can do a lot of that stuff. A good idea is perhaps just to simply set up a flow to go do it. So I actually did set up that flow to go look at it. And in this particular case, let's go see that particular flow over here. I should have it over here handy. If not, well, let's go find it. So let's go into the flow details. Go ahead, open it up from scratch. Interesting one to see in this particular bot helper. All right, so you basically go to the flow, and let me go into the edit mode and show you in this particular case, one of the things you can do, and remember, you can do things straight up with the GPT stuff that's in there, but here's a big tip. If you guys are working on the Azure side, if you're working on straight up HTTP bits, you can actually connect to whatever you have going in your organization that's already doing it. And the thing is, you basically you simply have to prep a request to get going. I'm going to go through some of these later because this is actually more important tips to go through. Let's see. So in this particular case, I'm just simply passing it on to this particular system, and that's all great and well. So that's what this is doing over here, taking advantage of the fallback action. I think I'll give you a better tip for this one, which is going forward, you're going to want to, and this actually behooves you now, to actually create topics to start capturing this information and being more specific and using the Copilot to help put those things together. Because you have to fine tune it. Needless to say, when I did it just this way, conversational boosting and using fallback, those are quickie ways to get a POC or something going. You'll have to go back and do the work. At some point, yes, all this work is done for you. There's still going to be something left to do, and you're going to want to do that. So that's going to be the next tip on there. All right, after that, we want to be able to use our bot in quite a few different ways. One of the things I like doing over here on the bot, when I see whatever instruction, remember sometimes it says, hey, hello, I'm this bot over here. I like being able, this is a nice quick tip. I double click on it. It takes me right away to the trigger, and I can go in and I can muck around with the message right there immediately. Nice little quickie way of getting around to do stuff. So that's another tip. Yes, we're mixing and we're going all over the place over here. Let's see, what else can I do with this stuff over here? I could do a Power Pages thing. Let's go do a Power Pages thing out of this. What can I do? From the overview area, I have a way to take a look at some of the pieces that I have. Let's go see where I can get some of this information. All right, for generative answers, I can view the solution. I can learn more. Well, that's fine. I can do, of course, testing the bot, the how to build the bots. All that information is over here. And for some reason, I'm not sure if my viewing is not visible over here. But let's go to the bot details. Some of the things that I look at, change the information about the bot, logging the activities. All right, just giving you a quick tour on where things are. Here we go. I go to channels over here under settings. And I want to use it quickly, for example, in Power Virtual Agents. I basically have to, I can do it several ways. One is I can go, well, this is the demo website. By the way, that looks actually pretty cool. Demo website gives you just a sample and says, hey, come over here and try it out. The custom website's what I go to. And I grab this little piece right over here. I can take this, go to a Power Pages site, for example, any site over here, and I have one sort of ready to go. Actually, let me go to the one that I already have going. Hopefully that will be up quickly. Let's go. All right, in the anticipation that sometimes these take a while to go. It's almost as simple as this, right? See this fast chatbot piece over here that I just put something in? You basically come right in. I'm just going to go to the chat page over here. And I just simply added a component right over here, just an iframe. All right, let me go to the edit code over here, and let's open Visual Studio Code for it. And all I did was, once I created a little bit of text, and that was the quickiest thing to do, put a little bit of text, and all I had to do was drop in that iframe instruction right in there, and instantly I had my bot. All right, the second way to do it, of course, is this way. Is you can actually create a chatbot. It's in preview right now, but essentially you can create it from this point. Here's a big tip from this area. At the current time, you will actually be creating the bot each and every time. So if I wanted to change what's going on over here, I literally have to uncheck this, check it again, and then it'll create it from scratch again. It'll go to PVA, create the bot, basically a plain vanilla bot ready to go, and it will have the it'll point back to this site as the source. I turned it off, and if I wanted to do what I'm going to do, I just simply have to redo the code. That's for now. I'm sure that's going to change and get out there. But otherwise, it's really cool because it's the same bot. And what does it look like when it's working? When it looks like when it's working, let's go see that. Here we go. It looks like this. All right, so in this particular case, this was the food rater, and it says, I want to rate, let's see, pudding or diabetics. Let's see what it says. This one, of course, is going to our particular piece that goes. Let's take a look at the time. All right. Oh, look at this. It did rate it. It did all that stuff. Hey, 6 out of 10 and everything else. Okay, great. All fine and well. All right. So let's go through some of the few other tips that we can do over here. Some of the quick tips is I had the food application. Just you can add in Power Apps. It's so easy to add a component. Let's make that a little bit bigger so we can see it, or maybe we should just run it. No, let's go see this closer. Over here, I had that same food assistant, and I just dropped it in here. How did I do it? I went in and I did this plus input straight up, and I found chatbot preview. I just dropped it in there. I could put information about it. So if I go right over here, you'll see I can put a header label. There's not much to this at the time. Currently, again, this will improve. I know it will because that's what they do. But this is instant food instant, I should say, chatbot on an app. Okay, so we saw it on an app, we saw it on PVA, so all the friends can take advantage of this. But in some cases, we may not want a bot because this is actually a very specific kind of use case. Maybe we want to actually have like an application that does something. Oh, I don't know. Let me go leave this app for just a moment. Let's go and take a look over here for another app, and I will look for my blog creator. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, blog guy? I'm doing the very small apps right now, so it's really hard to see all my apps. Here we go. Give me the apps. There we go. Thank you. Here's my blog creator. By the way, you see it says AIC because I created this over here for, and let me hit the I hit the wrong button. Let's go over here for a moment and do edit so you can see what I'm doing over here. What I like about this is I'm actually using the GPT stuff out of the box. Nothing special. I'm not needing my friend on the Azure side to give me that piece where it gave me all those pieces. And by the way, we have some links over here for some samples. You saw all those like little settings. I basically asked my AI master, hey, what does those things mean? Top penalty, AI temperature, and all this stuff. And it gave me that, which leads to this link right over here. So that while I'm waiting for that, I have that information for you. Let's go back and see if this guy opened up. Yes, he did. So my blog creator over here, in this particular case, the way to get to the apps, in this particular case, I could have dropped in a component or chatbot to point to data and do that kind of work. But in this particular case, I pointed to another flow for the win, flow to help us go. So in this particular case, it's using the create with GPT piece. And this one actually is pretty interesting because I just simply put in the prompt over here and I dropped in the prompt information that's coming in. I'm using the old school Power Apps thing. By the way, another tip, use the new one, the V2, where you can actually control the actual variables. So this one is just give me everything, and then you got to muck with it and everything else. So, but I'm only have one value, so I brought it in here. I work it out. I can, by the way, create a prompt from whatever I want. And I want to highlight a very important page that we have out here, which is the fact that there are some sample prompts ready to go that you can go and copy over. And every time you see the start text and end text, that's where your variables potentially would go. I love this site because it has a lot of information so far, and it's growing. I imagine there'll be a way to contribute to it one day. So I could take what's that information, what's in there, for example, come back. Oh, not over here, but right over here. Come back over here. Here we go. And then I could change this, copy paste, and put in the request piece in there, and done. I have a brand new bot with a brand new piece and ready to go. I wanted to show you one more tip before we go. You see your flow checkers when you're doing a lot of this bot stuff will do this to you, and it'll say, "Hey, you know what? And in this case, does not have content approval action after it. So at the end of the day, remember, be responsible. You are essentially releasing a lot of this very powerful technology upon people who don't realize that sometimes the information that they have is not exactly what it probably they should be having or can get or may be correct or anything like that. The whole point of this warning is to remind everyone that this is still something that needs, let's just say, parental guidance, right? So basically a very powerful kid and you are the parent. This is the co-pilot. You are still the pilot. All that stuff needs to come into play. There is just recently they added a new approval feature for this, so you can add it in to go in. In my case, if I'm doing a quick demo and going through, I guess it's okay. But if you're doing this for real work, be sure to catch it. Okay. And that's it. That's pretty much all the stuff I need to show for now. We were able to cover all the pieces that I had in mind.
I thought you were going to share a couple of tips, Ralph, but you went crazy. That is awesome. Awesome.
A few tips. All right. Well, I think the only other one picture that I didn't show you is that you saw that HTTP thingy that I did instead of the GPT. This is sort of what it looks like. You pointed to your find an Azure stuff. Hey, this is something to do with your Azure stuff. Here it is, right? And all you need is an API key. Look like this, and you're good to go. Pretend that you have the power, or give your friend credit. Don't forget to give your friend credit. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Excellent demo, collection of tips and tricks. Very fantastic. And as Daniel had mentioned in the chat, friends, that repo for the prompts is absolutely open for contributions. In fact, we're even looking to expand it for additional areas of contribution, like maybe something like Midjourney or other kinds of AI opportunities that'll assist the community in doing amazing content and solutions. So thank you, Ralph. Excellent job.
You're most welcome. I'm looking forward to everyone contributing there so I can like it as much as I can.
Awesome. Thanks, Ralph. Okay, let's get into our second demo. Eickhel is going to show us using Power Automate and AI to write code for custom connectors. Eickhel, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you, and screen showing. Good to go.
Okay, perfect. Well, the mandatory slide to let me introduce myself. My name is Eickhel Mendoza. I'm a business apps MVP. Also the team lead at Intelequia Technology, the company I work for. I'm also the author of the Power Apps Cookbook. As the name implies, is a book that helps you learn Power Apps and everything that is around Power Apps in Power Platform in the way of recipes, like a chef would do, to teach you all about the things that you see in Power Platform. You can find me on LinkedIn or on X Twitter, that is the name now, and also some posts on Intelequia.com, at powernimbus.com, that is my own blog. Let me tell you, let's see if this, okay. What are we going to be talking today? We are going to see about Power Platform connectors. I know there are several makers here that want to know what it is about doing those connectors from scratch, and not to be afraid of creating those custom connectors, because they can save your life for any specific projects. We also have, I'm going to share some use cases about using custom connectors. There are going to be some things that were amazed for me in some projects that we already had in our company, and also the demo. I did everything for the demo gods to not break anything, but help me also Jocelyn, that is here on the call, for the custom connector parts. As an introduction, this is the also an updated list of built-in and connectors and custom connectors that are available right now on Power Platform. There are around 1,000 connectors. As you can see, not everything is related to Microsoft. You can see connectors from Jira, Google, or whatever the service that you want to connect to, as long as they allow you to connect to that, maybe from a database, an API, or whatever connection that you need to have, to gather some information from there as a data source into your applications or other services, or to automate those services. We also have hybrid connectors in hybrid connectivity to connect to those on-premises services that from some reason a company doesn't move those servers to the cloud. You can also connect to those servers and gather information from there, maybe a SQL database or something that is locally for that company. And also, what we're going to talk today is about creating new custom connections for new integrations. These custom connectors allows you to build your own connector with your own actions or your own method to do something with that data source. Okay. Let me tell you about the most strange use cases that that I have come across by creating custom connectors. The first one is Docker containers. Docker containers are special pods of code that can scale depending on the demand or the need for those pods of code to do something, a provision of financial computation or whatever that they need to do. We created a constant connector that connected to a Docker, a Windows Docker, to extract that information to get that information into a Canvas app. The Canvas app was the front end of that financial team in order to change the data and query the data and also get information into Power BI. But all the calculations and all the stuff for the financial team were executed on Docker containers around the world. So it was really crazy to do that. The next one was to connect to a custom ERP that one company had. This company had a really custom homemade ERP that didn't have a connectivity to the database, but it had some specific methods in the API and on a local API. So we connected to that ERP, even though it was on a local server, and integrated with that API and and allowed us to get all the information from there. And the one that we are going to talk about today, this is the one that we're going to use for our demo, is that actually is really new, that we can use C# code in a connector. You might think, why I'm going to need that? It's because you can put some pro code into a function to do some stuff for your application. In this case, we're going to use it in a Power Automate custom connector in order to validate a regular expression. And I'm going to show you some other stuff that I learned along the way. And that's it about the slides. We're going to go straight to the demo. Okay, so here we are. Go back. Okay, we are here in the Power Apps Maker portal. We are here on the custom connector side. I'm going to just show you a little bit of information about how to build this type of custom connectors. You go here and you can create a custom connector from blank, from scratch. You can create a custom connector from Azure, and from Azure you can create a custom connector in your environment. So as you can see here, we are stepping out of the low-code side of Power Platform, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be scary or something like that, because this allow us to embrace the Fusion team in our organization. We can ask someone from the pro code side of our company, can you help me to build an API in Azure and create a connector for that API into my environment? Or you can create an API from scratch, someone that knows about, for example, the Postman tool that allows you to test APIs. You can do the API request and give me that information so I can create a custom connector with that. You can ask your team in your organization, someone must know Postman, someone must know how to run APIs, how to work with Azure, and he can help you or she can help you to build that information into your environment. We're going to for this demo, start from scratch, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do here is to give a name, okay? This is going to be regex, regular expression tester. Why is this example? There are two reasons from which I created this demo, because it's already a sample on the Microsoft Learning site, so you can get that code from there if you need that, because once I tell you why is this useful, you're going to start using that in Power Automate. And the second one is because I'm going to show you how to improve that code that is on Microsoft Learn by using ChatGPT, okay? Why is this useful, for example, for Power for Power Automate? Is because how many times in your automation do you need to, for example, validate that a simple string, a text string, is validated as an email? You can do that in Power Apps with Power Effects, but as long as Power Effects doesn't come to Power Automate, there's no way for you to validate easily an email in a text string. So you can use, for example, a regular expression to tell, in this case, in a custom connector, This is the text I want you to test by this pattern. You are using that pattern to test if that's an email or not. It's not going to be difficult because there are hundreds of patterns around the web. Actually, we can ask ChatGPT, give me a regular expression to test an email from a text string, and you can use that as a custom connector in Power Automate, and in your flow, you can say, okay, this is the email I'm getting, validated that is a correct email, and if it's so, do that, or whatever that you need to do. Okay, so we're going to start from scratch. We're presented with this first screen where we are going to describe our custom connector. I'm going to, change the folder. This one. I'm going to set an icon. I'm going to set, for example, a color for my custom connector so it appears pretty in Power Automate or Power Apps, and give a description. Regular expression tester. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit of the settings that you have here. For example, if I click here to connect to on-premises data gateway, you will be able to create a custom connector, and then when you create a connection using this custom connector, it's going to ask you for a gateway already in place in your Power Platform environment. So it's going to be really useful for creating custom connectors that connect to something that is located on a local server. This is not going to be our case. In this scheme, we need to say from how are we going to connect to this URL? In this case, we always need to select HTTPS because this is a secure protocol. But I'm going to change some things here. Here, you would put the host, for example, api.contoso.com, and the base URL for your API. As we are building a code connector, we are not going to have a URL here. So we put a dumb information. We put home because I'm not going to connect to any URL to get the data. I'm going to use the connector itself. Okay, we're going to go to security. We're not going to do any authentication here, but we can change the connectivity type, the authentication type, sorry, in order to secure our connector. We're not going to delve into that today. And we are going to start from the definition. Here in the definition, we need to set, here is where we create the actions that we're going to see on the, in this case, on the Power Automate site. Are the names of the little boxes that appear below our connector. In this case, we are going to create a new action. The summary is going to be a regular regex tester, regex tester, and the operation ID is the name of the action, the internal name of the action. Test. I'm going to tell the name of this operation is going to be test. I'm not going to show you all the parameters here, so because I don't run out of time of my demo. And here is the important part, the request. Here's going where I need to tell the action how I'm going to request the information through the custom connector. So I'm going to click here, import from sample, because I want to give the custom connector the ability to learn from an API request to get that data. In this case, we are entering information to the custom connector, and it will give me information about it. So I'm going to set the verb is the way that you talk with the API. Get, as the name implies, get information, delete information, post information, put information to edit, and some stuff like that. In this case, we are going to set post. What's the URL? Again, we put some dumb information. The headers, we're not going to talk about that. And the body. Here's the JSON body with the information that I'm going to post into this custom connector. In this example, I'm going to copy this here. As you see, you put the parameters here that you're posting to the custom connector. If I paste here this information, I'm going to give you an input, and I'm going to give you the pattern. So if I give you this text, you're going to validate it with the pattern and tell me if it is valid or not. Okay, I'm going to click import. As you see, it created everything for me. The URL here, the body. If I click here on edit, you will see the payload that is going into the body, that is the input and the pattern. Everything is working correctly. As you can see on the custom connector, on this guideline, you will see that everything gets validated once you get to the next step. Okay, so we have the request ready. This is what I need to use on my Power Automate. I want to use the test action, and then I'm going to go to the code part. This step on the custom connector side is relatively new because it was on preview until 2 days ago. So bear with me if everything explodes right now. And with this part, what it means is that you can upload code, as you see with these limitations. It must run under 5 seconds, and it can be larger than 1 megabyte of text, and it must be written in C#. So if I click here, code enable, it will be ready to understand that this custom connector is not going to connect to anything, but it will run itself the code that is here from the payload I just defined and do something. Okay. In this case, this is the part where it might get some tricky, because you will see here code, bro code, C# code. You say, oh, okay, what is this? I don't know how to write this. I don't know what to put here. I just need something to validate that this email is working okay. This is, again, another part where you can embrace a Fusion team and ask someone in your organization that knows about C#, that knows about how to work with this type of functions that you're having here on this. And this example that you have here, maybe you have a background of pro code programming, and you can start changing everything here. But there's now an easy way to do this. You can go here to ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you my way of thinking about this. The first thing was to, can you please show me a C# code to validate a regular expression against a pattern? Sure, this is the code. Okay, it's amazing. It looks correct. It looks that it should work in C#. And it even explains that the code is going to work and what you need to make it work. And okay, perfect. But can you rewrite the code using async task? Because I don't know anything about it. Let me just simply escape this so it doesn't get in the way. I don't know how to write this code, but I've seen here that you have an async task or something. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. It gives me the code with the async task. This is not going to work for me. This code doesn't look like that, like the one on the custom connector. So I said, well, this should be intelligent enough. If I give him an example to ChatGPT, give me an example of code that does regular expression against a pattern by using this type of code. What I just did is copy this example, put it here. Can you please adapt this code to validate a regular expression against a pattern? And voila, I have the code here. And I was, what? This is amazing, but I need to use parameters. I'm not going to have the information here written. This is the pattern, this is the input. No. And I then improve this one. Change the input pattern string to receive as parameters. He started to change everything, and I just started to give ChatGPT more information of what I needed about this. Can you make the execute async method receive 2 parameters? Here's the change. Can you please add code to parse the body of the incoming request? Why? because I didn't need to have those the input and the pattern as parameters. I need that from a post in the API. So I said that, scratch that. Can you please add code to parse the body that I just defined here, to parse that information in the incoming request? Okay, perfect. And here's the input, here's the pattern, and here's the parsing of that information. And the only thing that I needed to change is because I test this code, and the custom connector said, "Oh no, you need to wrap this request in this context." Okay, please wrap the request in this context request. It changed this thing only, and everything worked. And the beauty of this is that the last thing I wanted to know is how to request this even better the next time. What would be the best prompt to ask for this result? And here's when you learn about ChatGPT and how to be a best prompter for ChatGPT or any AI that you need to work with. This is the way that you can ask him for this code more precisely. Okay? So let's get this code. That is the, well, here's a code.
Hey, Eickhel, great
Yeah,
stuff. Just
sorry.
FYI, we're still, we have one more demo, so we got to wrap it up pretty quickly here.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be fast. Okay, so I paste this one here, and I'm going to, the next thing is to test this. I create the connector. This is going to take a little bit of time. I promise this will be fast. The thing is that when you create a custom connector using code, it will take a little bit of time because it is building this part of code in order to respond for you. I'm not going to wait for this or do the testing completely here in the custom connector side. I have one already here. If I click edit in this Power Automate, if I click here to add an action in the custom tab, you will see your custom connector that you just created. The one I just created is not appearing here because it's still building. I'm going to click here on code. That is this one that you see here. And it's actually trying to test that if this email validates to this regular expression pattern. If I click test, you can use this on Power Automate or Power Apps. Again, this is not necessary because Power Apps actually understands this, and it will respond. Its match is true. If it's not, if I remove this, for example, pop, test, run, it will actually give me false because it's not working. This is the example of code not using ChatGPT. The one that I just showed you is the one that appears on the documentation. The one from just ChatGPT is a tiny bit better because it's not actually responding true or false, but it will actually run okay if everything works. And also it will fail if the regular expression it doesn't match. So it will be better for you when you're writing the flow of your Power Automate. And just to wrap it up, this is the one that I was telling you about. It was released just 2 days ago. This allows to have a custom connectors in solutions, so it will be good for your LMA scenarios, and also the inclusion of the custom code in custom connectors that you will see here in the documentation how to you can write this code with some samples, as this is the regular expression string. You can try the one that I just created on ChatGPT, and also the namespaces that are the things that you can do in that C# code. You cannot do everything, sorry, but you can do the things that allows you from these namespaces, just to give you this. And be sure to check the GitHub samples in GitHub, because there are many samples on how to do anything on custom code. So if it doesn't show on ChatGPT or something, this code will help you. So the community is helping you. And sorry for taking so much time.
No, it's great stuff, Eickhel. Really fantastic stuff. I think opened a lot of eyes. Thank you so much. Just in the interest of time, though, we're going to move on to Kylie on ChatGPT in AI Builder and Power Apps. Kylie, we can stay a little longer. I can just to make sure we capture your amazing demo.
No worries. My practice this morning was about 10 minutes long, so I just have to speak in 2 times speed, so it'll be fun.
It'll be like chipmunks with ChatGPT.
Yeah, it'll be normal. So so I want to talk about the ChatGPT model in AI Builder and Power Apps, and we'll do a really quick demo that's currently in preview right now, so everyone should be able to test it out if you've used AI Builder. And I'll talk a little bit about AI Builder in general because I just think it's really cool. First of all, here's me. I'm Kylie Kiser. I work at RSM Canada as an architect there doing Dynamics 365 CE and Power Platform stuff. I'm also involved in the Washington, D.C. chapter. I used to be the leader and when I lived in D.C. and now I moved back to Canada. Also, there's a little kitten running around here that might join us for the demo, but she's been grumpy today, so we'll see. Anyways, moving on. AI Builder is kind of our low-code option for integrating AI into our Power Apps and Flow, all of our Power Platform stuff, right? So it's all point and click, no coding needed. You can use it with Power FX. We have pre-built models as well as custom models. And then you can integrate these, like I said, with Power Apps or Power Automate. And for those custom models, you can train them and then you can see the performance and continue refining them and training them more. And like I said, all of that's point and click, all of that's no code. So now in preview, there is an OpenAI model. It's this text generation model, and that will let us use basically ChatGPT in Power Apps or Power Automate. And you still want to remember crafting prompts and a lot of the things that we've been talking about in the other sessions today. But then you can either get data from a user and put it in this model or take data from this model and send it out. So quickly, what we're going to do in the demo is I'm just going to pull up the model in AI Builder. We're going to create the sample app from that, and then we're going to add in another AI Builder model so you can see kind of how that works. And we'll do this in 3 minutes so that you can get on with your day and you can see what's happening. That's the wrong link. Here we go. All right, so here I am just in the Maker portal. And what you can see is these are models I've created before, but we're just going to create a new AI model. This is a pre-built model, so you actually don't need to create it. You're not going to need to do anything here, but this is our easiest way to add it into the app. And this is also where you can see all of the other models available in AI Builder. And you'll notice that all the ones that don't have custom model on them, all of those can just be added right into your app with doing nothing, right? You don't have to do any training. The custom models are the ones that you have to train. But we're going to add our preview model here for where to go, text generation. And you'll see here, we're seeing these same samples, right? So this is something that you could use in your app. Yes, I am seeing the chat. I do have hashtag the monkey. He's back there right now. And I have stickers and stuff. Anyways, moving on. So you can see that they are giving us sample prompts that we can use here as well, just to give you an idea of what this does, right? And that's the same as how you could use it in the app. So our easiest way to make use of it, either you can use it in a flow or in an app. If we click this use in an app, it's going to build out our whole app that basically looks like the screenshot that I included. That has the ChatGPT model already added. It has the like a text box for entering your text, and it has the response there. And so we're going to use that, and then I'm going to add in another model, and we'll go from there. Let me make sure I have my notes of what I'm going to follow. Okay, beautiful. So let's quickly, we're going to play this so we can change this. So we could test it out, and it will tell us an answer. So this is just like we're expecting, going out to ChatGPT, OpenAI stuff, getting us a response, right? And so we can this app is like already built, right, from that sample. So we're going to change this, and I'm just going to say, tell me a really positive compliment. It won't be about my spelling, right? And so it will tell us hopefully something good. Oh, so great. Just use it for our self-esteem. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in another AI model, because what I want to do is get the sentiment of this. I have 1 minute, so we're going to do it fast. So what we first want to do is we're just going to click add data. You'll see AI models, and we're going to add in our sentiment analysis model. This is one of those pre-built models. I don't need to do anything. I can just use it here. So you'll see I have models to add here and models that I can also add here that are all pre-built models for AI Builder. Okay, we're going to insert a button. And I'm going to make this button to set our sentiment. So I'm going to write these formulas really quick. But basically what we want is when I click on this button, I'm going to set a variable to the sentiment that's just using that AI Builder model we just added. And then I'm also going to set the text to be the sentiment I just found. And when I use the sentiment analysis, why is this being weird? There we go. When I use the sentiment analysis, it will gives you a table of all the sentiments with a confidence score of each one. So we're actually just using the top sentiment, but we could use all of them. But I'm also going to use what are you doing? Doing the wrong thing. Okay. But I'm also going to use the confidence score of that to determine the color of my button, because that'll be fun. So if we hold Alt to test this guy and set our sentiment, then it says, okay, it's positive. And let's play this guy. Let's say, tell me a negative review. We'll test that. And then we could also reset our sentiment, and now it's going to say it's negative, and our button is red, and it should be setting the degree of redness based on how negative or how positive it is. So that's something really simple, but just kind of giving you an idea of how I can, where did my slides go? How I can how I can use AI Builder, how I can get those models moving really quickly, and how I can combine that together with our business requests and all that fun stuff. So that's all I had, a really quick demo for you guys. I think we shared the links in the chat to the documentation, as well as to a video I did previously using this AI Builder model, just silly stuff, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and feel free to reach out if you have questions.
Awesome stuff, Kylie. Thank you for jamming through that, but super powerful. I would say that demo, the sentiment was so green that Marvel is calling to see if you're available for a Hulk episode or two. That was awesome stuff. Thank you so much. All right, let's wrap this call up with some resources for everyone. Once again, thank you to all of our presenters today. You did awesome, fantastic job. We really appreciate everything that you bring to the community. Now, what are some resources? You may have some questions for our fantastic presenters, and that's where our community call conversations comes in. The Power Apps platform forums have been set up to allow you to chat with our wonderful presenters, whether you're watching this live right now or on demand later. There is an opportunity. Just use these URLs and or QR codes, and you can absolutely communicate with them. It's free to create an account if you don't already have one, and you'll also get some badges there as well. So definitely even go let them know that you just appreciate what it is that they brought to the call today. That's a fantastic way to encourage the rest of the the rest of the community to get involved, and let them know that you really appreciate all that they're doing. We also have other resources. Our front door, our videos, our samples, and all of our forum communities are available to you. So definitely take advantage of those and get involved in all of these capacities, whether you're answering questions or asking questions. It's a wonderful way to collaborate with the community. And you obviously love community calls. You're here now. So the other community calls that are available is our Microsoft only speakers call, which is on Tuesdays. It is on summer break back on the 22nd of August, which is next week. So definitely take advantage of getting back on track with those calls. Of course, our monthly Power Platform call, which you're on right now, Office add-ins, and then of course the sibling M365 and Power Platform development calls, which one is tomorrow. That's the one tomorrow. And the Viva Connections, the SharePoint framework. You can get access to all these calls at aka.ms/community/calls. We would love to hear what you love about these calls. So please give us feedback. Let us know what you like and you don't like. Let us know what we can continue to do or do more of, or maybe do something completely different. If you're looking for some new opportunities to engage with us in the community, let us know. Even if you just let us know that things are going well, it lets our management know that we're doing a good job and that you are benefiting by these calls and what you find in the community. So just go to ak.ms /community/call/feedback, and we would love to hear what you think. Well, again, thank you all for joining. The recording will be available soon on the Microsoft 365 Community YouTube channel. You can access that at aka.ms/community/videos. You'll see in the Teams chat, it's available for download. It is, in fact, not unless you're a Microsoft employee, so don't try. It'll turn into just sadness and tears. But what will turn into tears of joy is if you go subscribe to these YouTube accounts, and you will be alerted as soon as anything is dropped, which is a great way to stay in the know and involved and see all the wonderful things that's coming out of Microsoft. You can follow us at Twitter at M365Dev and at M365PNP. Our next call, September 20th, missing a T there, September 20th, 2023 at 8 a.m. Pacific time. You can get access to all of these at aka.ms/Power Platform Community Call. Thank you all for being the best community in technology. We really appreciate everything that you bring. A lot of community love. You rock so much. Thank you for bringing it every day. Looking forward to continue to collaborate with you all. Have a wonderful rest of your week.